Hello, everybody, and my name is Scott Rich. And if you're watching this, you may know me from the things I post on Facebook. I do Scott's Song by Song and Scott's Spotlight, mostly about prog, but not always. I divert a little bit now and again. But a couple weeks ago, I was given the privilege of reviewing PrYzme's latest album called True Stories and Other Lies, their second album. Just came out at the end of May of 2025, if you're watching this later on. And I have the opportunity today through my association with Anne Claire of Bad Dog Promotions. She reached out to me a few months ago after I did a feature on Magic Pie and asked if I would review some albums and feature some bands. I have with me today Lucas Planque, am I saying it right? The drummer from PrYzme, and he joined in 2022, along with their more recent bassist. Is it Benoit?
Yeah, we say Benoit, okay.
So the band was founded in 2014, if I got it right, by David Cholet and Dominique Blanchard.
Yeah, Blanchard, yes, we say Blanchard in French.
All right, so they put out their first album in 2021 called 4 Inches, which is a great prog album. Definitely recommend checking it out too. They have a Bandcamp page where you can get both albums. So how did you come to get to be a member of PrYzme?
Yeah, so they first released the 4 Inches album in 2021, but then in 2022 the lineup changed. So I auditioned for the band, started playing with them like October 2022, and then the bassist came like 2 weeks after me. So the lineup changed really quickly, and from the end of year 2022 we started rehearsing for old song from the 4 Inches album, but already new songs for what will be the True Stories album.
Were they familiar with your work from other bands or anything prior to? Were you invited to audition, or you just found an ad? Or
I didn't know them at all before joining the band, but we had like a mutual contact that I worked with. So he told me that this band was searching for a new drummer, and maybe I could be interested because it was prog, was good music, was kind of technical, and I was into this stuff too. So it went like this. I just listened to the 4 Inches album, find it super great. So I just send a message like, I want to try to be the new drummer for this project.
So how did you get into playing drums?
Oh, how did I get to play drums? Yeah, it started like long ago. I started like 5-6 years old, and I'm 30 now, so it's like 25 years of drumming, and it never stops. I don't know why I began, but I never leave the instrument. So I still play drums like more than ever now.
So you mentioned that you were a prog fan before joining. And so who were some of your big influences in prog, bands, albums, that really inspired you?
Well, I mean, I was a bit in prog like style, but not too much, and not the same prog that the two composers, David and Dominique, are influenced already. So my prog like catalog is pretty new. It's like of course the Porcupine Tree era, all this kind of stuff, and lead more into the like prog metal, like Animal as leader or some stuff like this. So I came more of like a new generation prog from the 2000s and after, and they had like of course more knowledge of the early prog, like the 70s, 80s. Even for the Pink Floyd era and the Yes era. So we had those two catalogs like that are working together to create our new stuff. Yeah.
So what were some other influences then, other styles that you were into prior to joining?
Oh yeah, I was more into like punk rock or even post-hardcore like scene. So really energetic on the drums, and maybe not so technical. So I went back to more technique, more relaxed to join
Hmm.
PrYzme, and I think
Hmm.
that's one strong thing we have. Like I came from more hardcore scene, and we have the bassist Benoit Toquet, who's come from more the metal scene, and both David and Dominic
Okay.
come from the early prog and the like elements of disco, of course, and all that 80s era that they bring to the music.
Hmm. So tell me about the new album overall. Just in general, about True Stories and Other Lives. Who came up with that title, and what is it meant? What is meant by
Well,
it?
I think it's a collective work to find the title, because we had like the six song plus the intro. They are not related
Hmm.
from each other. It is not a concept album. So we have all those six songs, like they are really big, I would say big songs, because they start from 7 minutes 20 to 12 minutes 12. So they are big
Hmm.
songs, and
Right.
we had to find the focal point of all these songs. The way the songs are written is like each one is a story. They are more or less true, more or less like invented, or Green Eyes is like a dream. So the goal is to fog a bit the listener, so he doesn't know what's real, what's not real, and
Oh, okay.
every song has a layer of truth and lies.
I never thought about it that way, but yeah, I can kind of see that now. Earth Song seems to
Yeah.
be the promotional focus at the moment. Tell me a little bit about that song, and how it came about, and the accompanying video that's out on YouTube now.
So the Earth song, we chose this song to promote first, because we thought it was the easier one to get into the new album, because it's mostly 4/4, and the chorus is like is getting you hooked a bit. So it's easy to
Yeah.
understand, it's easy to get into. So we thought it was a great way to enter the band music, but also enter the album as a whole. So as this was the main single we wanted to release first, we chose to make a video clip. Yeah, that's the only one we filmed from this album, and we like sketch some ideas to film, and then we knew we wanted to have both like shoot from indoor and outdoor situation. So we just went with that, and use a lot of like footage to tell the stories that we couldn't film from ourselves.
Look around yourself, time to hold your breath. Nature all around will keep you out of ground.
You got some really strong drum fills towards the end of that. I'm sure that was a lot of fun playing that. Were those worked out ahead of time, or were they more ad libbed?
No, it's all like written. I don't want to improvise during the recording. So yeah, everything is written,
Okay.
and the goal is like to keep the accents, so some of the accents, but to blend more and more and more drum fill into that. So it gets like powerful at the end, and finish the song strongly.
So let's back up a little bit to the opening track on the album, Echo of the Silent Place.
Yeah.
Brief instrumental. It kind of has a lot of sustained sound effects, and things like that for the first minute or so.
Hmm.
But then at the end, it has that moment.
Yeah.
A lot of times when I'm doing reviews, I have what I call the woo moments. where something comes along in the music that just really grabs my attention and go, whoa, what's that? And right at the end, I don't want to give it away too much. There's that moment where that big sudden riff comes in. And I think it's in some sort of odd meter there, and it just kind of grabs the listener, takes them out of that almost hypnotic state that they were in for the first minute or so, and says, "Bam, here we are."
It's like we give you a hint of what's going on at the end, but we're not gonna give you the full story now. You're gonna have to get through all the songs to get to that end story that is Silent Place. The Silent Place is like the main piece of all the album.
The harmonies on the album and both albums are just really clear, really in tune. Who do all four members sing, or just certain members? How are the harmonies developed?
The two, David and Dominic, they composed all the music and the lyrics, and they harmonized the vocals on computer. At first, there are two voices, and then we try to know which voice we can sing while we play. Maybe there's a voice that's too difficult for the drummer or for the bassist, so we kind of change a bit the voice so we can still play and sing live.
Some of the harmonies in that song really remind me of Gentle Giant. Was that an influence on how that came about?
Honestly, I don't know. This one was composed by Dominic, and I don't really know where he got this exact inspiration, but I remember we talked about like a moment in Trains from Porcupine Tree. We talked about that, and I think he wanted to create like a little space in that song that's really airy, really. There is no much instrument on this. It's only vocals, but it's dense vocal, but all the rest is like there is space in this part.
And then the end of the Anger, I think we're in 7/8 there, and it kind of reminds me of Changes off of Yes, the intro from Changes on Yes 90125.
Yeah, the end of the Anger is it's in 6/8, but the accents on the drums are like a little bit awkward.
Next track up is Green Eyes. It's the second longest track on the album at 11:04. It's got a little bit more of an acoustic guitar focus. Do both of the guys do the acoustics there, or is that one that gravitates more to the acoustic?
When we do live or recording, it's always David who take the acoustic guitar, and it's only him playing the acoustic one. So Dominic's still on the electric guitar. Yeah.
A gentle voice from far away, coming from another time.
One of the comments I made on my review, I said, I bet you guys are tight as hell when you're playing live. Is that the kind of feeling you get? Because there was just some things in that song that gave me, man, I'd love to hear this live. And then again, the next track, Reality of Dreams. Again, there's an acoustic riff there on that one as well. But then around 120 into the song, it gets a little jazzy. A little bit of a jazz fusion influence on that one.
Yeah. There's a lot of jazz influence from David and Dominic, because they came from jazz rock too, from jazz fusion, and yeah, they had a lot of jazz influence. You can tell by the harmonies they chose, because there are some like really weird choice to harmonize either the guitars or the vocals of or the chord progression. So yeah, I think one of the major influence for Dominic is Pat Metheny.
And then the final track on the album is Silent Place. And that's the longest track. And I kind of have a theory in doing all the reviews I've done. I found in a lot of prog albums, there's what we call the closing epic. So I kind of think that kind of fits into this phenomenon, if there is such a thing.
Yeah. So first, yeah, you're right. There is the closing epic track that we wanted, that we already had on the 4 Inches album, because the last track, 4 Inches, is like more than 13 minutes. So this one is a little bit like less than that, but it's still like the closing epic track. And yeah, we go through a lot of different time signature and different like moods.
Mm-hmm.
So we had like a punk rock mood, a classic rock mood. We have like even a police sting part, and towards the end of the song, yeah, we had like a really jazzy moment, and then we switch into like a heavy shuffle.
All the album is just really great. I think any prog fan would really dig into it, and maybe even if they're not into prog, it might kind of okay, this is kind of interesting. Interesting music. What else do you want to share about PrYzme with anybody who might be watching this, that you'd like them to know?
You said that this album can be enjoyed by prog fans, but it can also be enjoyed by people who don't listen really to prog, and that's the thing we care about, because we want the music from PrYzme to be really accessible to everyone. So that's why we had like songs like Earth Song or Green Eyes. They are really like friendly for everyone. Everyone can go and listen to those songs and get into it really easily. But we also have those more prog songs that are a bit harder to wrap your hand around, and that's I think one thing we had may make us more accessible than a lot of prog bands.
Lucas, it was a lot of fun talking with you. Have a great day, great evening on your end.
Yeah. Same. Have a great day.
All right.
See you. Bye.
All right. Bye.